but I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better. Much better. I'm a better looking person than Kamala. I'm better looking than she is.
What?
Think of it, I spend $100 million? Now I have to run against somebody else. Is that fair? I think they should reimburse me for the $100 million. Who wants to collect? Does anybody want to go and collect? I'll get front row Joe to collect.
What is going on?
What happened to Biden? I was running against Biden. All of a sudden, I'm running against somebody else. It's true. You know, it's interesting. I said, who am I running against? Harris. I said, who the hell is Harris? You don't know. Who the hell is Harris?
Donald Trump went into his Pennsylvania rally with the goal of resetting his campaign, or at least that's what he tried to do. Tried being the key word here. The idea was simple. Talk about economic issues. You know, the stuff that's actually affecting voters like inflation, jobs, and the cost of living. But this is Trump we're talking about. The man has the attention span of a goldfish in a bowl of Red Bull. I mean, he started talking, but then like a GPS that lost signal, he veered wildly off course.
Joe Biden hates her, okay? Hates her. You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you? Joe Biden hates her. This was an overthrow of a president. This was an overthrow. They went out. You know, I spent $100 million fighting Joe Biden.
Donald Trump going off script? What could go wrong? Well, apparently a lot, because his supporters left before his speech even went off the rails. Now, Donald Trump did try to rally his cult by launching personal attacks against Kamala Harris, calling her a communist and a fascist.
This is communist, this is Marxist, this is fascist. But you know what? It's dangerous. Because she's saying that she's going to give away things that she'll never be able to get approved.
I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure being a communist and a fascist is like being a vegan who loves steak. It just doesn't add up. But I'm sure if we give Trump just a second, maybe he'll figure it out.
Whether we will make America powerful again, we're going to make it powerful.
Never mind. So then Trump went on a bizarre tangent about how Harris has the laugh of a crazy person.
People say, be nice. Have you heard her laugh? That is the laugh of a crazy person. That is the laugh of a crazy. It's the laugh of a lunatic. Have you heard it? You know, they prohibited her. They prohibited her for laughing. I've been waiting for her to laugh because as soon as she laughs, the election's over.
As you can see, Donald Trump has little to attack Harris on. All he has is ad hominem attacks.
You are one pathetic loser.
As if that wasn't enough, Trump's speech soon spiraled into one of his classic rambles. I mean, you know it's bad when even Trump himself acknowledges it. Trump literally said this. They'll say he was rambling. I don't ramble. I'm a really smart guy. You know, really smart. I don't ramble.
I heard the other day, and this isn't anything, I'm just saying, they'll say he was rambling. I don't ramble. I'm a really smart guy, you know, really smart. I don't ramble. But the other day, anytime I hit too hard, they say he was rambling. Rambling.
If Trump doesn't ramble, then what the hell does he call this?
But look at this over here. What a nice job. I think I'm going to take some of them back to my cottage and have a lot of fun. Like the Cheerios. I haven't seen Cheerios in a long time. I'm going to take them back with me.
Which is the kind of thing you'd expect from a toddler, so I guess in that sense, it's pretty on brand. Oh, and if you thought that Donald Trump was done rambling at his Pennsylvania rally, think again.
And I feel I have an obligation to speak and speak in a certain way and speak a little bit longer. You know, how would you like it? A guy's waiting with his family for 3.5, 4 days. They have a tent. And the tent is set up. They have hundreds of them, and they wait. And then I walk in, speak for 15 minutes, and leave. I don't know, somehow. Would that be okay, North Carolina? I don't think so, right? They want me to speak all day.
Hold up. Did Donald Trump just say North Carolina when he's giving a speech in Pennsylvania?
Would that be okay, North Carolina? I don't think so, right?
I really think that Donald Trump believes that he's in North Carolina, which just so happened to have a beach house collapse into the ocean. Call me crazy, but it's almost like this is a sign to take the climate crisis seriously, right?
The oceans will rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. But they don't talk about a madman that's building nuclear missiles right now. That's your real global warming.
What the hell is he talking about?
I mean, Time magazine, think of this. Time magazine doesn't have a picture of her. They have this unbelievable artist drawing her. And I said, is that Sophia Loren, I couldn't. Who might that be? Is that Elizabeth Taylor? They say she was a beautiful woman. Who is it? It's so beautiful. Drawing. It's a drawing. They took a lot of pictures. It didn't work out, so they hired a sketch artist. I said, I'm sure, oh, they must be celebrating the great life and times of the magnificently beautiful Sophia Loren.
Just want to remind everyone again that Trump is supposed to be talking about the economy, but instead, he's going on some unhinged rant about Kamala Harris being on the cover of Time magazine. Trump's fascination with Time magazine actually goes back years.
In 5 of President Trump's clubs around the country, including Mar-a-Lago, there hangs a framed Time magazine cover from 2009 featuring one Donald J. Trump. It's a fake, a Photoshop. The date was made up. Time Inc. confirmed there was no March 1st, 2009 issue. The White House response today, we couldn't comment on the decor at Trump golf clubs one way or another. Donald Trump was never on the cover of Time magazine at all in 2009. There was, however, a March 2nd, 2009 issue with Kate Winslet on the cover, and whoever did the phony Trump cover borrowed some of the headlines from the real cover and just dragged them over and put them on the fake one. And then someone took that Photoshop Time magazine cover and had it printed, blown up, 5 times and then framed and then hung in at least 5 Trump clubhouses to impress the membership. Now, if any of those members happen to scan the barcode on the fake Time magazine cover, they discover it's actually a barcode for software that lets you be a karaoke DJ. It all adds a bit of perspective on a day when the president tweeted that basically every news outlet in America is fake news.
At this point, someone should probably put Donald Trump to bed. And speaking of beds, I want to thank today's sponsor, Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, and stuffy noses, and it's just gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and feel as nice if not nicer than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe to try Miracle Sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Gabe at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Gabe and use the code Gabe to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Gabe to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Let's see what else Trump talked about.
They used to call it TiVo, now they have TiVo, I think it's the single greatest invention. It's better than television, because television would drive you crazy if you couldn't do a playback, right?
I'm sorry, did Donald Trump just talk about TiVo? Just give me a sec, we gotta rewind this.
They used to call it TiVo, now they have TiVo, I think it's the single greatest invention. It's better than television, because television would drive you crazy if you couldn't do a playback, right?
TiVo came out 25 years ago and hasn't been on anyone's mind for years. It's actually considered a failure because it never innovated or marketed itself to a wider audience. Oh, and who could forget when streaming services came around, TiVo went on life support overnight. Also, the fact that Donald Trump thinks that TiVo is the single greatest invention really says a lot about where his mental state is right about now. It's trapped in the past.
She's giving everybody free everything. It's never gonna happen. Remember, the college debt, the student debt, they were going to give. It never happened. It was just all talk. Then he said after getting totally rejected, he came up with another plan, which is even dumber. But what happens is they talk. These things will never happen, but it's very dangerous because politically, maybe somebody says, oh, that's great, that's great. it's the end of our country. We can't do it. We can't do it. So
whenever debt relief didn't happen, it was because Donald Trump's Republican judges said no. It's just another win for Democrats that Donald Trump couldn't let happen, something that would actually help the American people. It's the same reason that Trump had Republicans trash the border bill. He couldn't give Biden or Harris the win for the election. That's how much Trump hates America and why he has to fearmonger that our country will die.
our country's going to die.
The difference between the Trump-Vance hate platform versus the Harris-Walz hope platform is pretty obvious.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
And Donald Trump is so desperate to win over voters that now he's just straight up lying.
Milan Crooked Joe. They try and take credit for $35 insulin, but I was the one that did the $35 insulin, not them. Just kicked in during their administration. I remember a few years ago, I said, boy, oh boy. They said, sir, this will kick in over the next 2.5, 3 years. I said, what about now? You couldn't do it, just a process. I said, I hope I win the presidency because I want to get credit for that. But, he gets up there, oh, we got $35. I got it.
And this is where facts and details matter. While in office, Trump enacted a temporary, voluntary program that would cap some Medicare Part D out-of-pocket insulin monthly costs. However, it was President Biden and Vice President Harris's Inflation Reduction Act that mandated all Medicare drug programs cap out-of-pocket insulin costs at $35 per month. So no, Donald Trump does not get credit, especially when his administration not only didn't market it to Medicare recipients, but also made it a temporary opt-in program. But I think the dumbest thing that Donald Trump said throughout this whole rally was on the topic of tariffs.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs. And it's a tax that doesn't affect our country. And you could see hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs on other countries also.
This guy is a moron whose last tariffs caused a trade war in 2018. He should not be anywhere near the Oval Office. And you wonder how Trump sent 6 of his companies into bankruptcy? So will this rally help Trump win over Pennsylvania voters? Probably not. I mean, it's not a great sign when your followers start leaving before you finish speaking. Donald Trump's speech or rant or whatever you want to call it was full of personal attacks without any discussion of his policies. And that's because Trump and the GOP don't have any to help the American people. If you want that type of change and progress, you gotta look to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They are the only ones out there with the plan to move our country forward.
This campaign is about a recognition that, frankly, over the last several years, there's been this kind of perversion that has taken place, I think, which is to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, when what we know is the real and true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what we see as strength. We know what strength looks like. That's what strength looks like. Anybody who's about beating down other people is a coward. This is what strength looks like.
Well, that's all for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to follow me at I Am Gabe Sanchez. What Was That is made possible by viewers like you. And if you'd like to support the show and help us grow, you can contribute to my Patreon at patreon.com/IamGabeSanchez. Thank you for your support. So until next episode, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?